Hello everyone. This is the home page to our web application From Region to Recipe, a culinary map. We have recently hooked up an API called MealDB, which has a large list of countries. We originally were going to use the Spoonacular API, however we had to change because the Spoonacular API did not have specific enough data for our country data points that we needed. So we pivoted to MealDB. You can filter through various countries. You can also search a recipe name specifically, but let's say the user didn't know what exactly they were looking for, but they wanted to filter based on a specific country. We just click on American. You can filter how many results you'd like to see. I'm going to keep it open for now for this demonstration. And I'm also going to keep these categories open so we can see everything. So the results will be on the right-hand side once you click the Submit button. You can filter the results in alphabetical order by clicking on the arrow. Right now, since we only have American, you can filter based on the countries that are selected, but it will only show American for now. You can filter based on the category. It'll kind of lump all of the categories together. And also you can filter based on the tags. Viewtify offers rows per page, so you can see how many results you'd like it to display, which is nice. I'm going to keep it on 10 so it doesn't seem so clunky. It also offers pages so you can scroll and browse the various recipes. To demonstrate the search capability for recipe name, let's say we wanted to search for a cake. We'll type in cake, click American, submit. And on the right side, you'll see all the results with the keyword cake from the American recipe list. If we delete that and we'll select chicken, you can see that all of the recipes with the chicken ingredient will be listed. You can also multi-select categories and you'll see chicken and beef. So now when we select category, you can filter between all the chicken and all of the beef. This is the code for our home page where we have the two columns, the filter column and then the results column. Here we have our autocomplete for selecting a country, our max results tab, and also our 5 switches such as vegan, vegetarian, beef, chicken, and seafood. Down below here we have our submit button, which is a click event. If based on the user criteria that they filtered on, if results exist, they will be displayed on the right. Otherwise, there'll be a no data available message. This is the sorting of the results based on the recipe name. You can sort on the food type, category, or tags. This right here is where we fetch the data from the API. With the switches, if you have results on the right-hand side and you decide to select a different category, this is where we handle that. It will update the results section based on the category switches that you have selected. This portion down below is where we get all of the data from the country that the user has selected. We take the ID of that result and then run a separate query to get enriched data. That way we're able to filter based on the recipe name that the user has entered or the categories that the user has selected of those 5 switches. We're potentially thinking about moving this portion of the code to the back end. That way it frees up the front end and we can just get the result right away and remove some of this logic of the front end, but that's still a work in progress and a decision we'll discuss.
Hello, my name is Christian Kirk. I'm with Group 7, and for our application from region to recipe, a culinary map, I'll be talking about the backend. Here we have the server.js file, which is what we'll be using for that. Firstly, we import the necessary modules. So here we have Express, which is for the web server framework, NodeFetch for making HTTP requests, FS for file system operations, and Path for handling file paths. Next, we initialize an instance of Express here as app and use port 3000, which is common for local development. So this here, the app.use JSON, basically tells the Express app to use the JSON middleware. That way the middleware automatically parses JSON formatted request bodies, which will make it easier to extract and use data from post requests. Here we're enabling CORS, which is used for, it's a middleware for allowing or restricting requested resources on a web server, depending on where the HTTP request was initiated. So here we have functions to read reviews from file, write reviews to file, and app.get for getting all reviews, and app.post for posting a new review. As I understand correctly, these will only work for local reviews, which for the purpose of this program as a prototype, just to fulfill the concept of our work, it works for now, but eventually we're going to want to possibly use MongoDB to be able to save information on a database that the user can store reviews to from the internet. Next, we have the reading and writing recipe data. Here we have these functions to read the existing JSON recipes file and a function to write data to this JSON recipes file. So previously in our phase 2, we used Spoonacular as our API for fetching recipes. However, that API did not provide country info for the recipes, so now we have went with the MealDB. Once we fetch these recipes with the country data, we will use the Google Maps API in order to get the latitude and longitude, which will be used to place a pin on the map for the front end. That way the user can see where the recipes are from. So here we have endpoint search requests to MealDB. So if you want to search for specific recipes, you can do that. Here we have an endpoint to filter requests by category. Say if you want dairy-free or keto, you can do that here. Here we have filter requests by country, which is what is really most essential for the concept of our application, because we want to show country recipes by country or by region. Next, we have app.post. For this block, this will be it's an asynchronous post endpoint to handle new recipes. So it'll read the existing data from the request body, it processes each recipe, including the geocoding, and then adds the recipes to the existing recipes data. A lot of these that you'll see are surrounded with try catch. That way we can handle any errors that come along. So here, try catch, and it shows internal server error. So if ever there's a problem with getting info from the MealDB or from Google Maps API, we can provide useful information for the user to show what is happening, if there are any errors. Here, this shows after writing the JSON file, it shows that the recipe was updated successfully. This here is just for server initialization to log that the server is running on port 3000. We want to log that on the console. So each block here contributes to the functionality of the application. It sets up the server and middleware and handles specific features like managing reviews, integrating with external APIs, and processing and updating data. So this is a typical of a modern Node.js backend application. But again, we're going to want to review the JSON, the way we handle the reviews for this backend, because we're going to want to use a database, an SQL database, in order to store reviews eventually. Thank you.